Hi there, this is Phil with PhilFX, and I've got another Harmony tutorial today. What I wanted to cover today is one of the students, when they turned in their homework, they had a interesting issue with some geometry that they had, and it was interesting enough that they even had me stumped initially. And I thought it'd be good to make a tutorial because this is actually a very simple mistake to make, and if you don't correct it, it can cause you a lot of headaches. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we have here is just a simple circle object that's on this layer that I've called phantom data. And if I click on it to select it, if I want to animate it rather, so I click animate, look at we can see the bounding box that has been created for this object. Let's ignore the fact at the moment that the origin is not properly placed. I just covered how to fix that in a separate tutorial, but I want to focus on this bounding box. So the bounding box by definition should be to the extent of the data. So the extent of the data that I can see is I've got a red circle with a darker outline in the back, and the bounding box should come across here and then go straight down, and I should basically have a nice square, but I don't. We've got a very big, large rectangle. So what's going on here? What's going on here is there something that I call phantom data. Basically, there's some data up in this top corner that at this particular visible scale, you can't see it, all right? But it's there, and so when I click on this, it is taking this bounding box and stretching it. Well, one thing we can do is if I click off of here and I go into select, if I go up here like that and drag up in this corner, there it is. And if we zoom in, and I start zooming in quite a bit, now all of a sudden we can see that data. There it is. So there was a little bit of a tick mark, possibly when something was erased, it didn't get completely erased, or when it was drawn, there was just a light touch of the mouse or a light touch of the pen on the Wacom, and it created this little tick mark. Bottom line is this is what's causing the problem. So if we go in and I select that and then hit the delete key, and now I zoom back out and we come up here. Now when I click on this to animate, lo and behold, we have a correct bounding box, and the bounding box now goes around the data the way it should be seen. So just a case in point for future reference for everybody, if you've got drawn data on a layer in Harmony, the bounding box should always just enclose the visible data that you see. If you see a bounding box that is at the moment going to very large extents outside of what you see as visible data, more than likely what's going on is you've got just a little bit of data up in the other corner that is causing the bounding box to stretch. And so you want to go in here, deselect it, get your select tool, and then go up and select in that area and find that data and then delete it, and that will correct the problem. So this has been Phil with PhilFX. Have yourself a good day. Thanks a lot.